Well, it's Thursday, the 10th of August, and this is certainly the hottest day we've had for a while. The sun didn't really come out until mid-afternoon, quite a humid, overcast morning, but it's nice to see the sun to get some extra growth. Problem I'm noticing though is because it is so hot and so sunny, the plants are suffering a little bit. They're shocked. After being so wet for so long and so cool, all of a sudden one or two of the varieties are looking a bit stressed, and that's due to the fact with the ground being so wet they haven't necessarily put on the root growth we might normally expect to see after, what was it, 6 weeks in the ground. Some varieties performing better than others. That's all the collarettes there, the water lily varieties. And then on this bit we have the poms and the medium decks. The poms went in as very small plants, just effectively from a 12 cell pack. The medium decks beyond, they went in from like effectively a 9 centimetre pot. I remember getting those up. The root system was superb on those, lovely nice fresh white roots. But I've had to take 1 or 2 plants out due to a bit of ramid damage, a bit too much capsid damage, and just not really liking the look of them. Just a couple, and in some cases the original root system had just rotted away because the ground here has been like so wet in parts of July, and they were starting to put on new root growth, which certainly hasn't helped how they're all performing across the fields. They're very variable at the minute. So this is the main plot. We're looking at the medium cactus, and you can see they've thickened up quite nicely, although there's the odd variety, if I zoom in on that there, Susan Gillia, which hasn't really got away at all, but I know that patch has been quite wet with all the runoff after those torrential downpours that we had during July. Runs right the way off the car park from the top end of the nursery right the way through the fields and sort of settles in roughly the middle of this block here. So some varieties have really struggled, and 1 or 2 have suffered with a bit of root death on them. Some are looking a bit stressed today because they're not used to so much sun and so much heat. This plot here has got all the small and miniatures on. Went in as young plants out of a 12 cell pack. Some have got away better than others, but it's really nice to see the fact that they are thickening up, but I still reckon we're probably about 2 weeks behind where I would normally expect to be at this stage of the season. So not really any buds to secure as yet. Hopefully by next week we'll be seeing 1 or 2, but guess what the forecast is for next week? Last time I looked it was for rain most days and potentially heavy showers again. I just hope not. Here we've got a plot with some of the trial varieties on, which are looking very good in most cases. 1 or 2 again have struggled. In some cases just because we didn't have plants big enough for going out, so they started off as small plants, but they are getting there. That one just there, that's a lovely block of Rossendale Donald, which we're starting to secure 1 or 2 buds on that one now. A lovely miniature deck. And this plot's all the giant and large decks, which again went in as biggish plugs. They were stopped as we planted them on the 24th of June, I think these went in. So a bit late, but they're coming away okay. Again, no buds yet, so there's not going to be much show on these in the first week in September, I'm afraid. But they've doubled in size almost since last week, which is good to see. Just need a few more days of this warmth and sunshine, and then we might actually have to put more water on them after them being too wet for all of July. And here I've got a a bed of fimbriated ones, got 12 plants of each I think it is in. Like everything else, running about 2 weeks behind where I would like them to be. And that's looking back over across the giants. And here I've got a few more Fims in 7.5 litre pots. These are grown in peat-free compost, Melcourt Silver Grow. Now I've started securing 1 or 2 buds on these. I'm going to try and keep these on the dry side. I've just had to give them a little bit of water. But yeah, we'll see how these do. And there we've got some of our chrysanthemum stock. The sprays are developing very, very nicely. All of these have just been grown on a single stem this year, just one up. And we're doing the same with the blooms because we were very late in taking our chrysanthemum stock because of circumstances earlier in the season. It's nice to see them looking as strong as they are, but I would like to see the plants a little bit more even. It's just been one of those years. It's certainly not a vintage year. And that's our main flock from the bottom end there. Now anybody catching the eye on the purple pellets there, they're not slug pellets, it's a fertiliser we've used as a top dressing, which if the rain comes that'll get washed in. Amount of rain we've had, I think the original fertilisers have been like leached out. It's hard working out exactly where we're at. We'll just see how the season goes. So happy growing everybody. Nice to see so many pictures of your dahlias, but there's a few people coming in and wondering why ours aren't as far on. There's lots of reasons. Late planting, wet soil, cold temperatures, just to name but a few. Okay, well take care and see you around.